Country Cooking. I'm your hostess, Cindy Schumacher. Today we're going to be making Parmesan pecan crusted fried fish, creamy cheesy mashed potatoes, spinach salad with pears, and a chocolate eclair cake. So we're going to start with the cake so we can get that going. I have a cup of water that we're going to bring to a boil with a stick of butter or margarine. You can use margarine if you like. I usually bake with butter. Get that going. And while that's going, we're going to make our salad dressing. I'm going to use my little salad dressing container. We're going to start out with 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. And we have 2 teaspoons of coarse ground mustard, whole grain mustard if you can find it, something like that. 2 teaspoons of kosher or sea salt. I have kosher salt because I also use that for my canning. And a teaspoon of sugar. And then we have a half cup of extra virgin olive oil. And some fresh ground pepper. I have a little pepper grinder with a medley of different pepper. And just, you can always add a little bit more later. We'll just put a little bit in here now. And mix it up. Look at this little bit of the olive oil here. All there is to it. We're going to put it in the refrigerator and let it chill. Let's see how we're doing here. This chocolate eclair cake is, you've probably had some similar desserts to it, and if you are familiar with having a chocolate eclair, it's a nice, fluffy, kind of almost a pastry. You could even use it for a breakfast if you like, but it makes a nice big pan. But they say in the 10 by 15 that it serves 12, which would be really big pieces. So I'd say you actually serve about 24 with that. So just going to wait for this to melt. Now remember, all these recipes can be found on the Valley website, and if you don't have internet, give the girls a call and they'll be happy to get you a copy of the recipe. We'll take a quick break while we're waiting for this butter to melt, and we'll be right back.
As the demand for advanced broadband and cloud-based services continues to grow, so does our commitment to you, our members. We are committed to providing you with the newest technologies and fastest broadband speeds available anywhere. Watch for the exciting details on faster speeds and new broadband packages coming soon.
Okay, our butter is melted. We're going to mix this with our 1 cup of flour. To that we're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You mix this until it forms a ball. Now we're going to let this cool just slightly, just for a few minutes, and then we'll add our eggs. So it looks just like this, that it's in a ball form. So we'll assemble our salad. We have spinach that has been washed, and I've pulled the stems from them. So, and then we've got cranberries, and we're going to soak them in just about 2 tablespoons of the dressing to kind of soften them a little bit, and they'll plump and they'll absorb some of the flavor of the dressing. So we'll we'll just kind of go like this. Put this back in the refrigerator. Kind of stir that up. Now, I've got some red onions that has been thinned, sliced thin, and soaked in water, and the water will crisp them up a little bit, and they'll take away a little bit of the strength of the onion. So that we want to let them soak about 30 minutes. So while we're working on everything else, then we'll do that. And then I have 2 pears that I have cored and sliced thinly, and we've got those ready to assemble our salad. And then we've got slivered almonds, which I have toasted. To toast slivered almonds, you put your oven at 350 and you spread them out evenly on a cookie sheet, and you let them roast for about 5 minutes, and shake your pan, and then watch them closely a minute at a time until they get the desired color that you want. I have them just really lightly toasted. So we'll let this all marinate and soak, and then we'll be ready to assemble the salad. So let's see how this is doing. That's cool enough. We'll add our eggs. We've got 4 eggs, and we'll add them one at a time. I'm using large eggs. Okay, now we're going to spread them in our jelly roll pan. It says to use an ungreased jelly roll pan. I have spread mine with parchment paper because sometimes when I make this, the crust sticks just a little bit. So you're going to be my guinea pigs along with me. We'll see how it turns out. We're going to spread it on parchment paper, and hopefully that'll won't stick so much. Okay, I'm going to spread this out. I've preheated my oven to 400, so we'll get this baking. Now this takes about 30 minutes, but keep your eye on it once you get down to about the last 10 minutes. And this is going to bake, and it's going to have all kinds of peaks and everything on it, so it's kind of fun when you pull it out. Get it going.
Get 3 months free access on all lines, plus a new 4G smartphone for only $4.99 a month. 2 great offers with Valley Cellular. Call Valley today at 437-2615 to take advantage of this great deal.
Okay, I've got about 6 medium potatoes that I have peeled and cubed, and I've got those coming to a boil on the stove and cooking for our cheesy mashed potatoes. So we'll start assembling the things for the fish. We've got a 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. I've used the stuff in the can in this instance because it's a little finer than when you self-grate it. A 1/2 cup of chopped pecans and a 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs. Gonna mix that together. I'm using one of my bowls that's kind of has a wide rim so that I can roll the fish in it. We're going to add our parsley. That's about anywhere from 2 tablespoons to a 1/4 cup of fresh parsley. The parsley gives it the color, and it also gives it a little bit of a peppery flavor. Add a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper to this. And some salt. Get that mixed up here. I've whipped together two whole eggs, and I've got that ready to dredge the fish in. Okay, we're going to get the oil going in our pans. You want to take a spatula and just kind of evenly coat the pan. And I'm going to use 2 skillets because 2 pounds of fish, which is what this recipe calls for, it's going to be tough to get it all in one pan. So I'm using tilapia today. I've also made this with walleye, which is excellent if you are a fisherman, or if a neighbor gives you something like that, or perch, or whatever you want to use. Today we're using tilapia, so we'll dip it in our egg, dip it in our pecan crust mixture, and put it in our pan. Anytime you have leftover bread, I never throw bread away. I always make breadcrumbs and stick it in freezer bags and pop it in the freezer, and then you've always got breadcrumbs that you can just grab and measure out how much you need. This is another recipe that I had in a restaurant that I liked so well, and so I found a recipe and kind of tweaked it a little bit to make it my own, and I think you'll like it really well. There's something about that pecan in the crust that really is a good flavor. This even works to warm up too. We've had leftovers and have warmed it up. You can warm it up in the oven, and then it gets real crisp again, or you can just heat it in the microwave. Just gonna use the rest of these crumbs. Okay, we'll let those cook. We're gonna clean up a little bit. We'll be right back.
Valley Telecommunications is pleased to announce that our Technology Solutions Center is fully stocked and open for business. We have a large selection to meet your wants and needs. Some of the items we currently carry are a variety of corded and cordless phones, different brands of tablets such as Kindle Fires and Apple iPads and all the accessories for them, Telekin computers, Epson and HP printers and ink cartridges, Apple iPods and accessories, office supplies, wireless keyboards and mice, cellular phones and accessories, different types of media storage, cameras, headphones, power strips and surge protectors, and much, much more. You can also get your very own Valley swag. Our prices are reasonable and comparable to any other retail store. If there is something that you want or need that we do not currently carry, please let us know so that we can check into it for you. We accept all major credit cards, cash or check. Please feel free to stop by our office and check out our new and improved store for all of your technology and day-to-day business needs.
Okay, we're going to take our clear out of the oven. This is what it looks like. So now we're going to take a fork and we're going to punch down the holes, or punch down the hills, I should say. Like that. Okay, now you want to set it aside and let it cool. And we'll assemble our salad. It's going here. I'm going to drain the onions. Add our cranberries. Now our pears, you can, if you're serving a formal dinner or something like that, you can actually do your salad on the plates and lay them all out and artistically do your pears on there. I'm serving it kind of just in a bowl for people to dish. I've sprinkled a little lemon juice over my pears just to keep them from coloring so much. They won't color as much as apples do, but they will still tend to color a little bit. Now we've got our toasted almonds, and I'm just going to put those in a little nest in the middle so that when we toss it, then everything will be spread out. I'm going to check our fish. They're starting to brown, so we're going to start turning them. They're getting nice and brown like that. If it looks like it's getting a little bit dry, just drizzle a little more olive oil in there. If extra virgin olive oil is a little bit too strong for you, you can buy light tasting olive oil and you'll still get some of the benefits that olive oil offers you. Okay, that's just about done. Right. We're going to work on the eclair again. So we need 2.5 cups of milk. To add it to 2 boxes of vanilla pudding. You can use regular or sugar-free, fat-free, whatever you prefer. To this, I'm going to add an 1/8 ounce of softened cream cheese. Spread this on your crust. I would imagine that you could probably use any kind of pudding that you want, but in order to get that chocolate eclair taste, then you would want the vanilla. Not going to be perfect because your crust isn't going to be perfect, so you just kind of make sure you've got it covered. Now we're going to put 12 ounces of Cool Whip on top of that. I bought 8 ounce containers, and so I'm going to use 1.5. You spread that, cover the entire top. Okay. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator and let it chill for a few minutes while we make the topping and while we finalize the rest of the meal. We'll be right back.
Valley's Mobile Command Center is coming to a town near you. Stop in at Valley's Mobile Command Center to learn more about our services, see and test some of our products, ask questions, or just to visit with us. Make sure to check your newsletter for specific dates and times when we will be rolling into your town.
Valley Telecommunications, the home team advantage.
Okay, I've got my 2 tablespoons of butter and my chocolate chips. I'm going to put them in the microwave for just about a half a minute. Melt them down. Remember, all these recipes can be found on the Valley website, and if you don't have internet, give the girls a call and they'd be happy to help you with the recipe. Just about got it here. Give it just a few more seconds. Just about ready to go. Okay, to this I'm going to add 1 cup of powdered sugar, which I have sifted so that we won't have lumps. Now to this I'm going to add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of milk. Tried to chill down this eclair. Normally you would want to make this up and give yourself a little time for it to chill down properly before you serve it, but today we're going to, we've kind of worked on a time element, but we're going to just drizzle the chocolate across. If you want to use a piping bag or something, this is a little bit thinner than frosting is, but and it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to give it that eclair kind of a topping. I'm going to take a butter knife and kind of distribute that a little better. Okay, and we're going to take care of our potatoes. Okay, I've got a 1/4 cup of butter in here. Okay, I'm going to add my sour cream. I've got about a 1/2 cup here. with just a little bit of seasoning. Do some salt and pepper. Don't need a lot of salt because the water was salted with the potatoes, but we'll still do about a half teaspoon. We're going to add about a 1/4 cup of milk. Kind of play that by ear if you think that they're creamy enough without it, or with, you know, without an entire 1/4 cup. A lot of that depends on how big your potatoes are. In this instance, I didn't use quite the 1/4 cup. Okay, we'll put it in our bowl. Then you'll sprinkle your grated cheddar cheese on there. I have about a cup. I'm going to pop it in the microwave for just a few seconds while I dish the fish. Don't let that dark color scare you. That's the pecans when they get toasted. So
Valley Telecommunications, the home team advantage.
okay, we're ready to serve. We're going to toss the salad. And if you aren't going to be using the whole salad for your dinner, you can always pass the dressing. There we are. We have our pecan parmesan crusted fish. We've got our creamy cheesy mashed potatoes, our spinach salad with pears, and our chocolate eclair dessert. Thanks for joining us on this edition of Country Cooking, and we'll see you next time.